Okay, YouTubers, we got interrupted there for a second. I was talking about preparing my workspace and myself for my day at my home office. And I was just talking about writing a list first to get set up with what my priorities are for the day or the next couple of days, and then organizing them according to priority and importance. You can have things that are very important to you that don't take a lot of time to do, and then you can have things that are very important that take a lot of time. Then you can have things that are not so important but don't take a lot of time, and things that are not so important that do take a lot of time. Those are like four little boxes that almost everything you do in your life can fall into. So you want to decide which of these things on your to-do list falls into which box. And sometimes I even put them into a square. Is this a high value, low time activity? Let's do that one first. Or let's put that in that box that's called do this first. Because things that are high priority and low time are relatively easy to do. That's what the proverbial low hanging fruit. That's what keeps productive people productive and on time, on schedule, meeting their demands and producing results for for themselves or for their employers. So that's a thing you want to be able to discern in your head is which box do my tasks go into. And then there's other things that are like the complete opposite, that are low value but high time items. This sometimes includes things that may or may not really make a difference if you do them or not. But a lot of us spend so much of our time like learning new things that may or may not have value to us. When you're working for yourself, the things that you want to do first every day are the high value, low time items that create money in your pocket, the income producing activities that bring you some revenue or are setting you up to bring you revenue. Okay, so if perusing, all your friends on Facebook, seeing how their holidays went, takes 4 hours and has very little value, that would go in that low value box, low value, high time box. That's not exactly an income producing activity. If, however, you're writing an ad for Facebook and it's likely to result in some new clients for you, then that might be something that takes a long time to do but has very high value. So that's the next box up. High time but high value. So if you're a great writer, however, and you have a whole bunch of ads already made up, maybe you can just select one and rotate that into your marketing program, and that becomes a high value, low time activity. It's still early. Everybody's still rushing to get to work. I'm on my morning commute, which is basically walking the dog, getting my exercise, and enjoying the beautiful morning sunshine. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about, was organizing your day. Okay, so you've got your list, you've got your boxes of priorities and utility, priorities and value, time versus utility, sort of boxes there. And if you can organize your mind into doing most of your work, getting it into that high value, low time box, then you're going to be a pretty productive individual, and you'll probably have quite a bit of success as a self-employed entrepreneur. But the next thing to do is to minimize your distractions. So if you're working from home and you have a lot of things that draw your attention away, like kids, babies, relatives, things that need your care, you're going to have to set yourself up on a schedule so that those things can get taken care of as part of your workday, and that you have hours and blocks of time to yourself when you can work on things that you want to work on. Then it comes down to, okay, now I have my priorities set up, I've scheduled time to do my work within my other responsibilities during the day. Now I have to actually sit down and do the work. So you might want to ask yourself, Is my work environment pleasant? Is it free of distraction? Is it lighted nicely? Do I feel good when I'm in there? Is it a pleasant space? Or am I crammed in, with my laptop next to the washing machine and the dirty laundry, trying to get things done in between folding clothes? That's sort of not a really great work environment. And if you want to be productive, take your home job seriously and create yourself an office space. It doesn't necessarily have to be an entire room, though I like to have a designated room so that I can close the door if I need to, or control the lighting, or play a video, or have a private conference or something like that, without people coming in and TVs being turned on in the middle and kids, going through the refrigerator or something like that. You want to maintain a professional workspace so that you feel professional when you're working from home. So now you got your space put together. Now you have to actually sit down and do the work. And all of a sudden your mind starts to wander. There's no boss to get away from, or hide from when you're trying to shirk your duties. Maybe you're just free to waste time without anybody caring. But what you want to do is ask yourself, is this really productive? Is this going to get me to where I want to go? Is avoiding this task the kind of thing that I'm going to feel good about after I do it? So you need to get into your head a little bit and find out, if you're procrastinating, why are you procrastinating? What is it about this task that you don't like? Is it something that you just really don't like to do? Maybe it's paperwork, or maybe it's accounting, or maybe it's whatever it is that's part of your daily or weekly tasks to run your business. That it may serve you to hire someone else to do it for you, or find a system that works better and simplifies the job so that you don't have to spend so much time. I know people who still collect paper receipts for every little business expense that they have. And I'm not sure why they do that, because in this day and age of electronic transactions, and unless they're paying cash for everything and they need to prove that they paid it, most of the time, every single receipt that we bought or had is online somewhere at the store, or comes in our credit card or debit card statements every month. And you can see what you purchased and what it was for, hopefully. Or you can create a system like I have to record all your expenses. For example, I have a lot of rental properties, and they all require repairs at various times. And I need to record how much I spend on each property so that I can accrue those at the end of the year when I do my taxes or my P&Ls for each property, my profit and loss statements. So even though I'm not writing checks, I use a check register, and every time I make a purchase, I write down, where it was and how much it was for, what it was for, and which property it was for. And it's just a little short notation system. I just put the address as the location, a couple of numbers, but I know which house it was. And I write down whatever it was, plumbing for $39.21. And it was at Lowe's on this date for this amount. And then when I go back at the end of the year, I can tally all those up. Now, if I lose my check register, that's a little bit more difficult to work with, but I still have my statements from my bank showing every purchase that I made on my business card. So there you go. There's no need to save all those paper receipts unless that gives you some kind of comfort, or that's just your routine and you have a system that really works for you and it's really fast and easy and you're completely organized and you've done it this way for 20 years. If it's not working for you and if doing your accounting for your business is causing you to procrastinate, then it's time to investigate a new system, something simpler, maybe even something online. There's lots of online services. Or hire, somebody to reconcile your bank statement every month and pull those expenses off, and maybe sit with you for a bit and go, okay, since you didn't write down which address this was, do you remember what you bought at Lowe's on this day? And was it for plumbing, or does it even matter? Just accrue it towards your correct column in your accounting books. So anyway, the point I'm making with this long example is that there's reasons why we don't produce work, and it's usually because we're doing something that we don't like to do. In my case, I get frustrated um, by simple tasks that are made complicated by technical issues, or simple things that shouldn't take as long as they do, but they're handled by an automated system, some kind of like a voicemail, routing system, or here is a robot to answer your questions for you, instead of talking to a real person. Those things frustrate me. Those are things that I tend to avoid doing because they can put me in a really crabby mood, or I can let myself get into a really crabby mood when I have to start to do them. So in some cases, I try to resolve them when I'm fresh, when I'm already in a good mood, and when I have time to be distracted on stuff like that, that isn't something that I want to do. Because, by the way, when you get into those 4 boxes on your list, there's also another box there that has to do stuff that I just like to do and stuff I just don't like to do. It could be the highest value, easiest task in the world, and you hate doing it, so you don't do it. Those are the kind of things that I always want to do first and get them out of the way, and just chip away at them a little at a time. Maybe it only takes 5 or 10 minutes. I just do it. It's called pay first, play later. Meaning I do what I have to do so I can do what I want to do. This is just discipline, and you have to get some if you're going to work for yourself. So if you don't have good habits in your home office, think about how you can improve those, because you're your own boss and no one's going to make you do anything. And if you don't make yourself, you're not going to do anything either. So with that thought, I will leave you, and I hope you have a great idea for some new systems today. I hope your office space is very pleasant to you and easy to work in and free of distractions, so that you can organize your work according to the highest value activities. And remember, do income producing activities first every single day. All right, this is Leanne Mazzari on YouTube, signing off. Ciao for now.